you look down, and you see water.
Of course.
Oh boy.
Oh, this is a bad idea! And he takes a deep breath, and you crash under the waves. The water doesn't seem to be affecting Cracklia very much, though.
Well, lucky her. And I swim to the surface.
Did you... Oh. Your actual physical strength to do that?
Well, I figured it didn't hurt to try for that one first.
Don't you remember any of your training?
Will.
It's not about physical power. It's not about force or effort. It's about wanting it.
Right. Get out of the water and try again. This time with Will.
And give me a
There
roll.
you go.
Are you kidding me?
And hippity-hoo! Make it 10 feet in the air and land back again. I don't think you're channeling your will correctly, says Logan.
Then
I
you
close
channel
my
the
eyes.
well.
I close my eyes. Take a few deep breaths. And then...
And Cracklia whispers, just think about what it is that you want.
Oh, here's the thing,
And then
though.
just take...
Here's the thing, though. I'm not just focusing on what I want. I'm focusing on who to act like.
Oh.
Interesting.
Well, as a performer, I would have ideas of certain mindsets. So...
Method.
Your motivation.
We love it.
Give this role an advantage.
Well, let me go to simpler rules, and we basically know that it's +4 at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So, what the? That's not how it's. What the hey? I mean, at least it's still better, but that's not the kind of role I was going for.
Roll me. Try it again. Do it properly. Wait. 8 plus 4. Alright. So you do make it up pretty high. That's still not quite it, though. But you do feel like you've made progress. This is the right way to do it.
I start spinning like.
And Logan looks down, is like, is there any way that you can, like, will yourself not to land in the water?
Yes.
Well, here's the thing. Because, again, this involves the mindset. So let me put it this way. I know I'm probably not going to reach as high as I can, but I suddenly do like a kick spin in midair. Like a mixture of Mary Poppins, but Rainbow Dash when she's about to do a Sonic Rainbow.
Yes.
Give me one more roll. Not with advantage this time, but give me a roll.
Come on, come on. Yes!
Oh!
Ow!
Oh, look at that! With a nice spin, flip, and a kick, you propel yourself. You have invented the double jump. You've broken physics through the power of will and magic, and you land on the cloud.
Yeah, I'm not letting go of
And
Logan, though.
when you do, there's like weird elevator door thing just sort of slides up, and the doors kind of part for you after a little ding, and inside is little goblinoid elevator attendant.
Of course.
You know, after today, I'm not gonna complain.
What is he?
Goblin.
And it's like, you're not the usual guy. Where's Fred?
Fred.
And oh, that explains everything. Okay,
You understand Goblin?
not a word. But yes, you enter the elevator, and Cracklia says, to the Queen's Court, if you please. He answers with whack and closes the door. And now you're all standing later. A little goblinoid. Just has his hand on the little lever thingy.
Mm-hmm.
And got the little music playing overhead.
Bum, bum, bum.
And the elevator crashes for a moment. Oh! And Logan staggers. Ow! Is it always so rough?
No.
And
I wouldn't know.
Cracklia says, yeah, it is actually. That's why we usually wait for invitations. If you get whiplash tomorrow, we'll just have to deal with it. And so, the door parts.
Get another ice lolly.
And then we learn that he calls them lollies. And you're in the Queen's Hall. Except, these guys are not
Yeah,
here.
there we go.
Mm-hmm.
And, you're not here either.
Do we have any music for that?
Let's see, music for the Grand Hall. Let's see.
Oh, hi, Titsna.
Are you appropriate?
Never.
No, you're not
Oh,
appropriate.
good grief.
Ah, this would have been good for the elevator.
Oh! Now I'm kind of glad you didn't.
Alright, let's try this one.
There we go.
Much better.
Oh, I love that one.
Alright. Okay. I'm only gonna go through this once. It's not going to loop. So, she stands there, rather surprised at your arrival.
Mm.
Well, this is strange. I did not send for you. What seems to be the situation? Thea?
Let's just say.
Thea, you're the only one there.
Yeah.
Let's just say
Let's
things
just say
might
what?
be more serious than any of us might believe.
Explain yourself. I do not understand.
Well, we spoke to one of your husband's majors.
Oh, you did. Was the conversation civil, or did it degenerate into something about sports or wrestling or headbutting or something?
Okay, first of all, not all boys are like that. Though at times Percy
And
comes off that way. But second, apparently their methods of training is similar to ours.
what is...
The method of training. Apparently, what we've been learning so far from your veteran majorette is similar to how majors have been learning.
Essentially, what she means, says Logan, is that there is no femininity in what you're doing. There's no masculinity in what they're doing. Why are you putting the emphasis on that? And why the heck did you turn me into a woman?
I was gonna lead into that one, Logan.
I'm sorry, it's a little bit personal. And Logan's mouth suddenly disappears.
And that's why I wanted to at least. Logan, I love you and all, but this is why we need to at least be calm about this. Because there is several things, obviously, we need to talk about, but differences would have to be the most pressing first.
I would keep greater control over your attendant in the future.
First of all, he's not just my attendant, he's also my boyfriend.
She gives you a long, unmoving look at this revelation. Well then, congratulations, I suppose, she says.
Thank you, but he is right. But he is right about something. What you're teaching us and what your king has been teaching the majors aren't actually that different. So why try to make it different?
I'm afraid I do not entirely know what you're referring to. But I would advise against trusting everything that they say without at least considering that they might, in fact, be lying to you.
Oh, trust me, Percy isn't exactly a good liar to begin with. And it's not even just that. Other than the turning Logan into a girl, there is actually something a bit more pressing.
Logan gives you a sharp look.
I know, but while I would like to know about the turning men into girl thing, there is something more serious. I turn back to Her Majesty. In short, there is a chance that somebody might be pulling the strings behind the king's back.
You believe that someone is manipulating King Oberon.
As much as I don't want to admit it, it's very possible. Especially concerning the past few days, we found also traces of Patrick possibly still being alive.
Patrick. That is the human name of the monster Pornea.
Indeed.
I see.
And true, while it may be speculations, but concerning what's happened so far, it feels almost too similar to what happened when the Dragon King was controlled.
Yes. That is admittedly a possibility worth considering. But I have another for you.
Yes.
And that is?
According to the reports given to me by your fairies, I have another theory. The involvement of the Onis, Misery, and the remnants of Patrick. I believe Oberon is aware of all of them. I believe they were all part of his plan, ultimately.
Mm.
Even to the point of
Knowing him... Sorry.
Nope, that's okay. I thought she was done at first.
The microphone delay. Go ahead.
Even to the point of attempting to turn one of your majorettes into a brooding mare?
Yes. That does sound like something that pig-headed fiend would attempt. But I believe he had another plan at one point. One involving the Oni and those remnants of Patrick. I believe he wanted to create a hybrid that he could control. Take the remains of this Patrick and the Oni and combine them into a new type of beast.
Well, I hate to say this, he might be doing
Something that
about it.
combined their powers.
Well, I hate to say this, he's also doing about this rather poorly. Because if he is trying to gather Patrick's essence, so to speak, he's been rather missing them since I even found one of them in Logan here.
I'm afraid he doesn't need all of them. You mentioned... I remember hearing in the reports that the one called Rin had them inside of him.
He did, but he was able to expel it by, drinking magical ale, so to speak, till he threw it up.
You refer to Misery.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes. That was the one flaw in his plan. Otherwise, I believe Rin would have become the monster he needed. He did not realize that Misery and the pieces of Pornea were antagonistic to one another.
Hmm.
That's strange, though.
Knowing him, it probably would have turned him into some sort of giant insectoid demon monstrosity. Far worse than the original.
Well, it is possible. We also had to deal with something like that a few moments before Logan and I got on the elevator.
I see. This is why he keeps coming back. Why the Majorettes can never truly rest. Because he is always somewhere in the world. Very well. Was that all of your business? And Logan is shaking his head no violently.
Is this about you getting turned into a girl, Logan?
And he nods. Was this not explained to you before? prolonged exposure to my great power has that effect. And he just points an accusatory finger up at her.
I lower his arm.
And she just gives Logan a look. Does your boyfriend have something he would like to say? And she waves her fingers, and his mouth returns to him.
Please don't say anything you'll regret.
And yeah, let's just say the next thing that he shouts at the top of his voice involves some language, some 5-letter words.
Yeah, I smack him upside the head for that one.
And his mouth disappears again. I'm afraid that if he continues this lack of decorum, I may have to do something more drastic, such as turn him into a rabbit.
No.
Oh, I wouldn't bother. Because he knows that if he keeps this up in front of me, then he won't get much kisses afterwards. Logan, I understand, but you need to behave yourself.
Accidents happen, and if he cannot accept that, then that is not my problem. And Cracklia just sort of turns her head and holds her arm. Can't look at her queen in the face.
Oh boy.
Oh dear.
Well, remember what was said about how fairy magic works?
Yeah. Well, with that being said, that was all we need to speak with you about. Not just a question, but to at least warn you that there might be more going on with your husband than you think. Well, clearly you're already aware of it.
Yes, I have been fighting my husband for quite some time now.
Millennia.
It may seem hard to believe, but a part of me does still wish things were different. Except he's a stubborn, ignoramus, frustrating man of a... Then she turns around, takes a deep breath, and then these 3 windows behind her all shatter simultaneously.
Liz, I can't entirely blame her. Although it does bring up a question. Forgive me for asking this, but this is more out of curiosity, but when exactly did your husband start to fight you like this?
Well, let's see. It happened quite some time ago. No, it wasn't too long ago. 2,000, 2,500, something along those lines. And, well, ultimately, I wanted a chance to arrange a visit to my mother's realm, and he was putting up a rather large stink about wanting to remain on Earth so that he could attend a engage a beast baiting game with a few of his
Oh,
friends. And no matter how I entreated him, he just would not bear it, as if some ridiculous sporting event were more important than a visit to my family. And though I tried asking him to do this, he just wouldn't. And then I said, But you are my husband. I cannot. You do have to see the side of my family. You married into it." And then he made the claim of, "No, you married into my family. I don't have to pay attention to yours." And I just couldn't. And then she punches another window shattered. And Logan's eye just sort of twitches a little bit. And he points to his lack of mouth. And then he takes out his phone, realizes he doesn't get any signal in the court of Titania. Just something up anyway and shoves it into your face. And it reads something like this.
Give me my bell back.
Okay.
You know, considering the era, probably shouldn't be too surprised.
He's typing more.
Okay, let's put the phone away for now. I lowered his hand with the hell's the phone, and I turned back to Her Majesty. So, what happened afterwards?
What happened afterwards is I went to see my mother on my own. And he attended his stupid game, even though he does that every single week. And he just didn't want to participate in visiting my family. So, I just went without him. I went without him. And then, the next time an event took place, I went without him then too. And then when the world was starting to fall into chaos due to monster attacks, I put together my own League of Champions without him, and that's how the Majorettes began. Blink, blink. And Cracklia just sort of does a double take. Wait, that's
Okay.
it? Oh, it wasn't there wasn't some sort of secret power that was true only of women that men could know nothing about? Like you said? And she turns back. Well, I never said that. It's just, well,
I want to be respectful.
you saw the way he behaved. And then she whispers, "Actually, I didn't. That was before my time."
One thing or another, at least some pieces are starting to fall into place. Almost. Though I suppose that's also where the first form of Patrick came to be.
The first instance of this Pornea creature. No, that was unrelated to our little spat. Though it is possible that had we combined our forces from the beginning, we may have been able to eradicate it sooner. As it stands, Oberon simply enjoys watching me flail around trying to put out all the fires that creature starts. As if the human lives that it costs mean nothing to him.
But they did at one point, didn't they?
Well, he... I confess, perhaps I was not attracted to him for the most wholesome of reasons.
Oh boy.
He was
TMI!
amazingly powerful and majestic. That, and he was ruggedly handsome back in the day.
So basically a bad boy.
You could say he has roguish charm.
Well, she starts to blush and raises her hands up to her titanic cheeks. I suppose that could be said of him. He was also very clever in his artfulness and very witty in conversation. He did also make me laugh. And, well, I do enjoy a good laugh. And then she sort of glared down at Logan. And if I'm honest, your male creature reminds me a lot of him in his youth.
Um, forgive me, Your Highness, and forgive me, Logan, but he's not exactly a bad boy.
Damn.
No, but he is sarcastic and, well, sufficiently handsome. And he does have a way of defying those in authority. And he's just glaring up there. Just points at his mouth that isn't there.
And certainly not afraid to speak his mind.
One more chance. But if you waste this, I will do much worse to you. And mouth comes back. Mwah.
And I immediately slap his mouth closed.
Okay.
And keep in
Oh wait,
mind.
no, he's not
that
strong
if-
enough to peel it away.
And keep in mind, if not her threat, then consider mine that we won't be dating for at least a week.
Oh.
He gives you a freaking glare of et tu, Brute.
Well,
So
while
he
your emotions
gently
are understandable. Well, not for nothing,
He
Logan.
guides your hand gently away from his mouth. Takes a moment to take in a deep breath. I was lying about why I had turned into a woman that day. Fairy magic apparently requires deliberate will to do that. Residual effects like that are not a thing. Your feud with your husband could have ruined my life for things I never did. If you have one shred of justice in you, that should not have happened. And then he turns and steps back toward the elevator.
That was a big step.
No, there's many steps. The queen remains silent.
All that, I'm kind of silent, shocked, with a little sparkle in my eyes as admiration, in admiration for his courage.
Then he turns back and suggests, "You know, I also think the only reason that all the Majorettes are women is because you are just as stubborn as he is."
Well, as I said, he's not afraid to speak his mind. But at least he also does it with heart. Not for his other head.
Ooh.
Well, am I wrong in this instance?
Nope.
The queen turns her gaze away and then simply states, "You are both dismissed."
I give a brief nod and also curtsy in respect and turn to join Logan.
Logan is now 6 inches tall.
Of course.
And when he notices it, it's like angry chipmunk noises.
I love how you were worried you weren't going to have enough time to complete everything.
And, yeah. With that, we're heading back to the beach.
Woohoo! And honestly, it definitely could have been a lot worse for him.
Okay.
Thank you, sweetie.
So.
Aww.
No? Yaw.
I guess you guys heard that, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, so, Camilla,
Mm-hmm.
I will now need you to roll me something different.
Mm.
Roll me a stamina.
Ooh.
Stamina is +8. That should be interesting.
But just know that this particular difficulty target is going to be rather high to compensate.
Yeah, I figured.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I didn't make it.
Mm-mm. And so, as you continue this long, grueling purification process, Caspian eventually kneels down by your side.
Mm-hmm.
And after a moment, you sort of just begin to nod off. And when you do, bark. Hey!
Yeah.
Focus. Don't you have a mission to complete right now?
Oops.
Rin?
Thank you.
I leave you alone for one day, and this is where I find you.
I needed your help. Where were you?
I was off looking to see what became of my brothers. I still haven't managed to track them down as of yet.
I see.
And you? Well, you still obviously have duties.
And I'm afraid I always will.
Well, I suppose it can't be helped. So he looks at the ground. I recognize her. She
Yeah.
was... Hmm. He's quiet a moment. There is no possible way we'll be able to win a fight against Oberon. So we'll need to come up with something else.
I know.
But I do like the idea of having something and then rubbing it in his face that he can't have it.
So you're saying...
We have much to figure out. But once we do, I think he can lament the fact that his breeding stud doesn't really belong to him, nor does anything it produces.
Mm. So you'll stay with me?
Just know, this wasn't a decision I came to lightly. I have to realize what it is I'm giving up.
What is it you're giving up?
Any possibility at becoming full Oni.
I see.
In order to make this work, it in part means accepting he's put out for us.
Oh boy.
The only thing we can possibly do now is pull the rug out from under him at the last moment, before he can relish in his final victory.
Mm. Right.
And then laugh and laugh at him. The Wild King stands there helpless before one thing is can't let him take.
Mm. Right. She's like barely coherent right now.
And then Ren pinches her arm.
Ah!
Stay awake, your job isn't done yet.
Oops.
I'm trying. I'm just...
Fine. I suppose this will keep until morning. It's not like bugs are doing any harm by just leaving the body. Worst case scenario, they'll just go back in, and then it's a spin. And so he sits by her side and pulls you closer to him.
She blushes slightly.
Now close your eyes. I'll keep watch tonight.
Thank you. And Ren,
What is it?
love you. With that, she falls asleep in his arms.
Aw.
I suppose this is the part where I catch you guys up on what happened between Max and Daru.
Oh boy.
Well, pizza did happen,
Yay!
Woohoo.
and Daru is feeling a little bit better.
Yay!
But then
There it is.
Max is just thinking about something.
Mm?
She's unusually quiet. There was something that she realized during that